Um, I think I put it in the message on GroupMe, but I'm gonna record it. I'll make a little, like a little clickable link, and I'll put this on my YouTube before I leave the gym that I'm at now, just so anybody who either comes in late or misses the meeting can go back and watch it. It'll be pretty quick and straightforward. I know that some of you guys haven't done team camps and things like that, so I'll kind of go over it. I see some of the players are here, so
Brett Goff.
I'll go over some stuff, and then if you guys have questions, um, yeah, I can answer everybody's questions at once. So I'll give it one more. All right, we'll go ahead and start, and then anybody else that comes in, I can just let them in. I'll open that window. First and foremost, thanks for getting on the call. I know it was kind of a short notice, but just wanted to give some high level information, some specific information, and some of you guys have texted and asked me similar questions, so I'll kind of address all these questions I have in my notepad, and then if you guys have other questions, then I'll just let you guys unmute yourselves. So for team camps, we're doing four different camps. We'll do Utah State, we'll do U of U, and not in this order, I forgot the order, but Utah State, U of U, the Great Western, which is always super fun because they bring in a lot of teams from out of state, and then the Rocky Mountain Showcase. So Rocky Mountain Showcase is four games where we'll just kind of play other school teams. That tournament will go Tuesday and Wednesday. There's a second part of that tournament that goes Thursday, Friday, Saturday. We're not signed up for that second part, but it could be a fun little way to end out the season. It's always at the tail end of June, and so we're not signed up for that second part. We could. Um, I think a lot of these boys are going to play a lot more basketball in the month of June than they're used to playing in 1 month. So their bodies might be ready for a break by the time we get done with that fourth camp in that first half of that week. Um, we will play about 20 games in the month of June because some of these camps, as you guys saw from the Utah State thing, it's a 2 day camp, but we're playing 5 games in 2 days. I think this sophomore team is the only team, and grades are the grade they're going into by team camp standards. Once you're done with that school year, you're not in that grade anymore, even though you haven't started your next grade. So by team camp standards, the sophomore team would be our current freshman guys. Um, I think they're the only team that has back-to-back games at the Utah State camp, which is fun because then other teams, other guys can go and support their teams and watch the older and younger guys and just kind of help support the other boys. Um, it's a lot of basketball. It's a lot of basketball. So my number one ask of all of you parents is if you're going to come and be supportive, understand that we are playing a lot of basketball in a short amount of time. It's not the end of the world if they have a bad game. It's not the end of the world if we get blown out by a team that's been playing together longer, um, because we'll have an hour to mope around and complain about that loss, and then we're back on the court. And so I like to think of team camps as like basketball boot camp, just because no matter how good or how bad you play, there's always another game coming up. And as I posted those dates, some of these camps we go 2 days and then we have one day off and then we start another camp. So um, just to kind of go through the expectations for players, just play hard, go as hard as you can when you're on the court. Um, the fun thing about team camp is I'm going to get to see everybody have a good game and have a bad game. I'm going to get to see when guys fall, who runs over to help them up or who doesn't. I'm going to get to watch and see who gives high fives when guys come out of games and who doesn't, who celebrates their teammates having success and who doesn't. So it'll be really fun because it's not tryouts, but it gives me a chance to kind of watch a lot of everybody. Where through the season, I had to get games ready. I had to do things in the office. I didn't get to watch as many of the JV games. And some of the guys, I just didn't get to watch as many games as I wanted to in that first season because I was just doing a million things. And so I think my number one ask is that you guys just play hard, run the offense. Um, Another ask is that now that all the spring sports are over, please come to Open Gym. Please. Starting on Monday, we're going to review the offense. I would like everybody from sophomores, JV, and varsity running the same plays. There's going to be a lot of interchangeable pieces. There's going to be freshmen that are going to play. Well, you guys will be sophomores, but there's sophomores that are going to get opportunities to play in JV games. There's going to be sophomores that are going to get opportunities to compete for varsity minutes. There's what I call bubble guys that I think if they have a good team camp and they have a good fall ball, it could kind of change where they stand on the depth chart. Um, so if you can be at Open Gym, please be at Open Gym because even the basketball only guys, we were playing games and they're like, oh, I forgot this play. And so for the younger guys who didn't run a lot of the stuff that varsity runs, you're going to be learning a lot. And the more you learn and the more you can retain, the better it's going to be for you as a player and the more opportunities it's going to give you to play up. So if you can be at Open Gym, please be at Open Gym. Again, I can't make it mandatory, but I highly suggest if you can be there, be there. The other thing is eating, sleeping, just taking care of your bodies. Most of you guys have never played as much basketball in a 30-day span as you guys are about to do in June. So stretch, hydrate. If you guys have those big like hydro flasks or Stanley cups or whatever you can put a lot of water in, bring them. I will keep a packet of hydration. It's called Liquid IV, but it's basically just a packet of vitamins that you can sprinkle into bottled waters or water bottles or anything that holds water, and it helps prevent cramps and things like that. At the night of the first day of every camp, I'll go and get things like bananas and fruit and things that I can put in a little portable cooler that I drag around with me. And if the boys need fruit, then I'll keep things like that. But have them put some granola bars in their bags, have them put some fruit snacks in their bags. Um, I'll try to keep as many snacks readily available. I'm a big trail mix guy, so I'll have trail mix, but load them up with stuff because some of these guys are going to be playing on two teams, so they could potentially be playing in 10 games in 2 days. And I know that sounds insane to play that much basketball in that short of a time, but Scott and Chuck know which kids are going to be double rostered, and if um, I'm just going to use an imaginary scenario. Um, so if Anthony's going to play on the sophomore team and the JV team, then maybe he doesn't play as much in the JV game and he plays a ton in the freshman or in the sophomore game, or vice versa. If the sophomore team has Cade and Thatcher and Roger, then maybe Anthony doesn't have to play as much in every single game. He can have a game where he plays a ton, has a game where he doesn't play as much. He'll have time to stretch and hydrate and eat and do things in between the sophomore and JV game, and then he'll be able to give us some good minutes in both games. And so I'm going to talk to Scott, talk to Chuck about just kind of managing those double rostered guys and not burning guys out. But for all the players that are here, when you guys are done with camp, go home, get off your feet, um, drink a lot of water, drink a lot of things that are going to hydrate you and help you stay cramp free. I'll have a little foam roller thing. I went and bought one after I did a camp and a bunch of kids cramped up and they didn't have it. I'll have tennis balls for you guys to roll, like lower backs and stuff like that. So I'll have a little kind of portable thing that I'll keep with me. And then all the boys will know the schedule. So if it's like, oh, I need a foam roller, and they can look on the schedule and say, oh, coach is at the Spectrum. Um, the varsity team will play a few games on the Spectrum where Utah State plays their home games, which will be fun. Um, so that's my biggest ask is just prepare them. I'd rather you over prepare them than under prepare them. There's food trucks and things like that. There's obviously it's a college, so there's places they can go on campus and eat. Um, but yeah, just over prepare them for the longevity of a camp and possibly playing a lot in one game and not as much and then playing again. Um, I know I sent out the roster. The roster is probably going to change a little bit based off who is available for different camps. There's some guys that are hurt. Mike's hurt. We hope he can be back by the end of camp. He might miss the whole month. There's a few family vacations where some guys just aren't available. So that'll kind of shift that rotation and give other guys opportunities to play. And then there's just a few different bubble guys that I want to see play with different groups and compete. Um, Brody Brody didn't do any of our basketball stuff, and he sent me a text message and we had a conversation, and I said I wanted to see him compete with the JV groups, and he played in the JV game yesterday against Orem, and he played really well. And so like I want everybody to have opportunities to compete and to show the coaches that you can retain the new information and run the new plays and all that fun stuff. So I told a couple of the players, but I'll just kind of tell all the parents when they see the rosters, don't panic. Don't put a lot of thought into it and say, "Oh, my kid isn't getting a chance to play up," because there's a few guys that are bubble guys that I really want to see play up, and there's a few guys that I want to just see them continue to grow from the progression that we had in the in the season in the winter. Um, we'll talk about camps, the specific camps. So Utah State camp. Utah State camp was supposed to be an overnight camp. We were going to get hotel rooms and have the boys stay up there and hang out and do a bunch of things. The district denied my paperwork to pay for the rooms out of our fundraising money. We're still, for everybody who's asked in the past, um, you guys aren't paying for any of this stuff. Just get the boys there. These team camps are all getting paid for by the money that they raised in fundraising and the money that we raised in concessions. So there's not going to be any like you're going to have to go and make a payment or nothing's getting put on your account. All of our team camps the whole month are being paid for with fundraised money. So with that said, I asked Skip what the easiest way to get back and forth when our earliest games on the first day are at 9:30 and our earliest games on the second day are no, first day earliest games are at 9:50. Second day earliest games are at 9. I GPSed it from the school earlier today to the Spectrum, which is kind of on the outside of the campus. And so it's a little bit further from where the other two gyms are. And it was an hour and 27 minutes. So this is what we're going to have to do. The school district is going to allow us to take a one-way trip, which means on the first day, we will have a school bus that'll pick us up at the school at 7:30. The bus will come back. The bus will pick us up at 7:30. It'll get us there at 9, and then we'll be able to go into the gym, shoot around, stretch, and just kind of warm up for the teams that play at 9:50 on the first day. Once they drop us off, the buses are coming, one bus, it's coming back, which means that as the parent, if you go up and you stay and you watch the games, you can drive your player back, or if you're going to go up and watch their games and come back, you can drive them up and you can bring them back. I'm not allowed by rule of the district to have kids in my car. So if I were to ride the bus up with them, I'm probably most likely I'm just going to pay for one night, get a hotel room, and I'm just going to stay up there, which means I'll ask Mason or Chuck or Scott, any of the other coaches, if they have room in their cars and they can bring the boys back at the end of the games. I'm not a morning person, so the idea of getting up at 6:30 to be at the school by 7:30 doesn't appeal to me. It just doesn't sound fun. So once we ride up there, I'm going to stay, and then the parents can come back with the boys, and then you guys can bring them back the next day. I know, like I said, the first game on the second day is at 9 o'clock, but I don't remember which. Actually, I can look it up. One of the teams plays super late on that second day. So,
Landon, can I ask a question?
yes,
Can we, if we want, can we get a room and stay with our boys or have like a couple parents like rooms and have boys stay so they don't have to go back and forth?
yes, 100% you can. All the boys are in high school, and so if a parent checks them in, so there's two hotels. There's one hotel right on the outside of campus, and I have the names and the phone numbers, and I believe there's like a team rate where if you say, "Hey, I'm with East High and we're coming up for the team camp," I think there's a discount. Um, there's one that's right on the outside of campus, and there's one on campus where the visiting teams stay when they come to play Utah State, and it's walking distance from all three of the sites. So our sites are going to be kind of like this big rec center that's right in the middle of campus, that's directly across the street from the hotel, and then you'll go around the rec center, and the practice gym is on one side and the Spectrum is on the other side. And so they're all 6 or 7 minute walks. But yes, if parents wanted to stay up and just get a room for the night, or if a couple of the baseball guys that are all friends together want to ride up together and then get a hotel room and the parents do the room and then the parents leave, yes, that's perfectly allowed. I just can't pay for it with the school budget.
Okay, that is really good to know. Do you mind giving us the hotels and the numbers when you can so we
Yep, I'll
can
put them
make
in the all parents group.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Um, So that'll be the first camp. There's a few guys that are going to be out of town for the second camp, so rosters will change a little bit. Um, all of our other camps are just, they're all in Salt Lake County. So I think there's one that's in Draper. They do it at Juan Diego High School. There's one at the Mountain America Expo Center, and then obviously the U of U camp. We can all just walk to that one. Basically, it's right up the street. So everything else will be pretty straightforward, pretty simple. One of the parents sent me a message and said, "Hey, if I go buy a case of bottled water for your cooler, can I get reimbursement receipts?" Yes, we can do reimbursement receipts for anything. If any of the parents do decide to stay and they say, "Hey, let's have, a pizza party," and we order pizzas or whatever, I can submit reimbursement receipts for any of that stuff. Um, Basically anything other than your hotel rooms. So that's how we will handle that. Um,
Hey, Kyle.
what was it?
Everyone that's playing basketball right now that Welch sent, we just want to split. If that'd be an option. Like if we all like come together and get money, we all just split the cost like ourselves. We just be able to find it. And here's that against the district. He's got.
Are you saying for the hotel room?
No, like
Yeah. No, for renting an Airbnb
no,
for
rent
the
an
Utah
Airbnb.
State camp.
Yeah, for Utah. Okay, so basically,
There's too many people talking. Cannon, you just talk. Everybody else in the background, be quiet.
So we were thinking like if we like rent a big Airbnb between everyone, we could just split that instead of just getting multiple hotel rooms, if that makes sense.
Yes, that is also allowed for sure.
PG1.
There you go. PG1. I like that idea. I don't know what rental properties or things like that look like up there, but I think that'd be kind of a cool idea, fun little idea to get a big house and we can all hang out up there. Um, so yeah, that's a really good option we can look at as well. Um, Other team camps, pretty straightforward. Everything else is in Salt Lake County. Uh, Let me think. What else? There was another question. Where you guys don't have to pay for anything. Food reimbursements. The other thing was, parents don't pay to watch team camps. Um, the only event that parents would have to pay for is if we do the second week of the last tournament, the one that breaks into two parts. You'd pay on the second side of it, but the first side, the team camp side, not the tournament, but the team camp side, you don't pay for that. I think that was it. I think some of you guys had a few questions that maybe I didn't write down or put in my notepad. Um,
Landon, can I ask another question about the Utah State? Just a little bit more about the buses. Are you having to pay for the bus
I pay for the bus, but it comes out of the budget and it's
budget?
significantly less expensive than like a chartered bus or something.
Okay, but so help, I just want to make sure I understand. So you're saying they would go like that first day, that Monday morning, they would go up, he would drop everybody off, then he would leave and come back. But then would he go back up again if people didn't stay, or like how, like if not, if some people stay and some don't, how does that all work?
So we're only getting approved for two one-way buses. So if they don't want to stay and they want to come back, then they would either need to ride back with a parent or with like one of the seniors that has a car, or yeah, they would.
Okay, so right now it's just approve for that Monday and Tuesday, a one-way trip up and that each day, and that's it.
Yeah.
Okay, okay,
So, if a parent goes up and they're going to come back and they can bring a couple kids back with them, that's the best option because they said we could only do the one-way bus because, so when I look at the schedule, so just to put it into perspective, the varsity team plays their last game on the second day at 10:40 a.m. If we have the bus come back, the bus would wait until the sophomore game is done at 7:20. Well, the game would start at 7:20, so that game would get over right about a little before 8:30. So the guys that have to ride the bus that finish playing at 11:30 in the morning wouldn't have a bus to come back on until 8:30 p.m. And so instead of us having to pay for the bus to sit there and wait for everybody to get done to bring everybody back, he said that we can only take one bus up and then parents or teammates can bring them back. And then we'll take another bus up on the second day. And that's when I would just see if one of the coaches could ride up on that second bus.
okay.
So all the notes that I had from the text messages that some of you guys had sent me, that was it. If anybody else has any other questions or concerns or anything, I mean, it's one night. We're just going to be up there that morning, that night, the next day, and then, we'll head out after our last games. I like the Airbnb idea. I think total we have 24, hold on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. We have 22 people. So I don't know how the Airbnb world works or the rental world works, but I think if somebody did want to get a house and have, all the guys from the sophomore and JV team in the same house, that would be kind of cool too. So, um, yeah, if you guys have any other questions, feel free to unmute and you can just ask your questions. Players, if you guys have any questions, go ahead and just unmute and ask them if you guys have any.
Hey, Coach, will you just remind us? So, what are the dates for Rocky Mountain Showcase? Were you saying that that'll be just the 17th and 18th?
Yes. So that was the one. So that's the one that has two parts. So 17th and 18th are the team camp, and then the 19th, 20th, and 21st, it's like an AAU tournament, but school teams play 3 games and then get put into a tournament, and then club teams play their games and get put into a tournament. So if we did it, we would be on the school team side. We wouldn't have to play club teams. But again, we'll be on the tail end of 20 plus games at that point. And so if the boys are physically able to do it, then Matt Barnes over at Olympus runs it, and he said he could put us on the schedule. And I said, let us get 3 quarters. Let's get through 3 of our 4 and see how the boys' bodies are holding up, and then we'll figure out if we want to do that one at the end. But as of right now, we're only signed up for the Tuesday, Wednesday, not the Thursday, Friday, Saturday part.
Thanks.
Any other questions, players? Okay. So that's it. The and I don't know how specific they're going to be on this, but we do have to submit a roster for each team, even double rostered guys. Um, I I know when I went in the past with the other school I was at, they double checked our waivers versus our rosters, and they came over and asked me, "Hey, we don't have a waiver for a kid named so and so who's on this roster, and he's about to play in this game." So even though the camp isn't for another couple weeks, um, if you guys have your waivers, you can bring them to the school and you can take them to room 2129. There's a para-teacher and Dallas Saxton are both in there. You can give it to either one of them and just say, "Hey, I have to drop this off for Coach Landon." They'll make sure I get it. Anthony actually did a really smart thing, and he gave it to Kim, the treasurer. Kim put it in my box in the faculty room, and then she texted me and said, "Anthony brought his form back, and it's in your box." And so I just walked in there and got it out of my box in the faculty room, so that was easy. Or you guys can bring them to team camp. I mean, not team camp, I'm sorry. Bring them to open gym. But I want to be more safe than sorry and just make sure that we have one for every single kid that's going to be at Utah State, so there's no issues with registration and liability and all that good stuff. So if you guys haven't brought it back to me, either get it to Kim and she can put it in my box in the faculty room, take it to 2129 and give it to Cindy or Dallas, or bring it to open gym on Monday, or bring it or give it to somebody who's going to be at open gym so that we can get them all done and I can get all of our rosters done online so we don't have to worry about it. And then is the waiver in GroupMe? The waiver is not in GroupMe. I actually gave it to the boys directly. So most of the freshmen may not have it. The baseball guys that came to open gym on Wednesday, they got it. The younger guys that came to the JV and varsity games at Olympus, they got them. But the baseball and lacrosse guys that are freshmen that'll be on that sophomore team, they probably didn't get them. I will put it. What I'll do is I'll download it on my computer and then I can link it to the GroupMe. So I could do that. I'll make the link for this video, put it on YouTube, and then I'll put that in the chat, and then I'll put the waiver where you can, I'm trying to think, I don't know if you guys will be able to print it because it's in GroupMe. If your boys didn't get it, just text me your email and I'll email you the actual file so you can open it on a computer instead of your phone. I print from my phone, but everybody doesn't print from their phones. So if you need it, if your boys didn't get it and bring it home or didn't get it at the Olympus game yesterday, just text me your email and I'll just send you the file in the email, and that'll be easier. And then you can print it out, they can fill it out, and then just bring it back. So that'll probably be easier than trying to put it in GroupMe. But I'll still put this in the GroupMe. So let me see, did we have another question? I don't think we did. Nope, that was it. So yeah, that's it. Does anybody else have any questions, concerns, comments, anything? I'm super excited for team camp. I'm excited for a few things one big thing, but we'll kind of talk about that closer to the season. For the varsity groups and some ideas we have for that group. I think team camps are super, super important. Every team that plays deep into the tournament play in team camps. Obviously, one of our teams plays two different Davis teams. Davis won the state championship. They play team camps. They're going to be in every single team camp we've been in. Harriman's going to be in a lot of team camps. Just Olympus, Highland, Alta, like teams that are successful are that way because they develop their young guys and put them in camps and let them have a good game and a bad game and get coached and I think we have that same potential. I thought the spring sports season was going to go a lot longer, but it feels like the baseball season was like 3 weeks long. It was like as soon as they started baseball, we had like 5 open gyms, and now the baseball and lacrosse guys are back. So I'm excited to get to work with these guys. I'm excited to create more cohesiveness and more unity between the sophomores, the JV, and the varsity guys. So if guys play on different teams, they're going to know the plays and know all the things that they're expected to know to give them the best opportunity to play and to make our program competitive. And I'm excited to see some competition. So if you guys have any other questions, feel free to call me, text me. If you need the form and it's easier to email it to you, just shoot me a text with it. I can forward the email right from my phone. And yeah, if you guys have any questions or anything, let me know. Other than that, that's all I got. I appreciate you guys taking this 30 minutes out of your day so that we can talk, and we'll see the boys next week and we'll start getting ready for camp. Take care, you guys. Thanks.
Thanks, Landon.